All right, we're here for NXT. Talk about NXT on Social Suplex Live. Jeremy Donovan here with Ben Schaefer for another week of Social Suplex Live, recording here on Blab. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm doing fantabulous. How are you doing, Smalls?
I'm doing great. Just got back from the dentist. Gonna go into work in a little bit, so
How's your face feel?
feels all right. Didn't do too much damage.
Okay.
All right, so we're here to talk some wrestling. Let's talk about NXT. So let's mix it up a little bit. Instead of going in order, what was your favorite part of NXT this week?
Dang. Honestly, the opening match with Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore versus Samoa Joe and Finn Balor was a fantastic match for me to watch. It started off a little bit rough, but after that first commercial break, things kind of, I guess, reset. Not saying they stopped the match, but when they came back, everything was just so much better. Everything was on point. The moves looked like they were supposed to. In the beginning of the match with Colin Cassidy and Samoa Joe in the ring, they kind of just if you've ever played the WWE 2K games, when you run at someone and miss your button,
Yeah.
bounce off them, that's what they looked like they were doing for the first 30 seconds of the match.
Yeah.
But after that, things picked up a lot, so I was really happy with that.
I like that match also, and I was there at the tapings. The only thing that sucks about this was there was a lot that was cut out from this match.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, that match was the main event of the tapings, and it was a long match, and they cut out a lot of that for TV. So it kind of felt like you said, it kind of started out slow, and then they cut to commercial, and then they cut back to where the match was picking up, and it was getting, it was hitting the momentum, hitting that pinnacle of the match right there. So that's why I kind of came back and oh, this is good. Oh, now it's over.
Yeah.
And
When Enzo hit the big body splash, I did not expect Samoa Joe to roll that up and do a muscle buster. It was just what?
I did not see that coming either, dude. It rolled him up, boom, get him up.
OP.
Yeah, he is, man. Get him up for that combo, the muscle buster and the coup de grace, man.
Oh my god.
That's a deadly tag team combination right there.
If they were not as big of superstars as they are, I would say that it should be a tag team. But the fact that they're huge superstars and they can carry their own weight by themselves.
Well, I just think this is just planting seeds for an eventual rivalry between both of them.
Yep.
I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in my NXT predictions I'm going to do. But I feel like this is going to open the door to Joe and Finn going against each other for the NXT title down the line.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite parts of NXT was definitely the ending video package that they were hyping up the 30-minute Iron Man match. Yeah, between Sasha and Bayley.
I'm really excited for that.
And I just turned into 6-year-old version of me when I was watching the build-up of Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart for the Iron Man, where they're running and training, had that same kind of feel, showing Bayley and Sasha doing all the training, getting ready for the match, and just the build-up. I mean, you can just sense the passion off these for Sasha and Bayley and how much they want to be the best and change women's wrestling. So I'm really excited for the Iron Woman. I don't know why they don't just call it Iron Woman instead of Iron Man. Iron Woman match. I think it's going to be amazing.
Is this the first Iron Man match with women in it in WWE history, or did they have one before?
As far as I can remember, I'm pretty sure this is the first women's Iron Man match. I mean, I'm sure other promotions might have had one. I'm off the record. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But I know I'm pretty 100% sure in WWE there wasn't an Iron Woman match for women yet.
All right.
They've done cages. They've done the hardcore match of Trish and Victoria at Survivor Series 2002, I believe that was. But yeah, so I think this is going to be the first Iron Man match for women.
Dude, you just dated us so hard.
You know what you want to do? I can do it even worse. I have that. No. I have that Survivor Series on VHS at my parents' house.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you kids don't know what a VHS is. Google that.
Big square rectangle looking thing that you put into a VCR.
Yeah.
God, those things are old.
Yes, I have tons of Monday Night Raws and Nitros taped on VHS.
I think I
Man,
have a few Raws taped, and I still have all of our old backyard wrestling stuff on tape. So
man,
that's
the good old tape, man. I even have some early Impact, TNA Impacts
back when it was
on
good.
yeah. Back when you were the one that convinced me to watch TNA in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, man, they got this AJ Styles guy and Daniels and all these guys. I'm like, oh, let me check this out, man. And it was pretty good, man, in the beginning, and then they just kind of dropped off.
Yeah, I stopped watching when things started to get dumb. So
And speaking of TNA, I don't know if you've seen on Twitter this morning, NXT's in Nashville, and Finn Balor tweeted out a picture of him in front of the TNA offices doing the good old crotch chop.
that's my boy.
So that's just hilarious.
But speaking of AJ Styles, you brought him up when I said, you got to check him out. He's going against JT Dunn and I think a Beyond Wrestling match. I'm not sure if it's Beyond Wrestling or another independent promotion, but JT Dunn going against AJ Styles, and he went against Ricochet like a week ago.
Dude,
so dream matches left and right are happening.
Yeah, dude, AJ, dude, since like leaving TNA has like taken the shackles off of that man. He's just rocking it in Ring of Honor, New Japan, Beyond, anywhere that he gets in the ring, he's just killing it. And he's having all these dream matches, like you mentioned, with like guys like Ricochet and JT Dunn.
Let's not say killing it, because he has broken 2 necks with the Styles Clash.
Yes, but again, that's one of those things where if you don't know how to take the move, instead of trying, to be the man and pretend like you can take it, just say, AJ, I don't know how to take your Styles Clash. Can you show me, or can you finish me up with a spinal tap or something?
Yeah.
Or for a springboard 450. Like, you got to know not to put your head down because AJ is crashing all of his weight, with all of your weight onto your neck. So, you can't completely blame AJ there. If the guy doesn't know how to take the move, learn how to take the move or work on another finish.
Yeah. All right. I feel like we've gotten a little bit off topic from NXT.
We've gotten sidetracked now. Let's hop back on. Let's see. We're talking about the Divas.
Match.
There was, speaking of the Divas, there was another segment on NXT with Dana Brooke and Evil Emma backstage with Regal, kind of making fun of getting rid of Kana last week, or Asuka, excuse me. And Regal lets Dana Brooke know that she will be going against Asuka next Wednesday on the special.
I was really hoping they would cut that into a handicap match, just to play it up and give them an even more ego boost before they saw that clip.
Yeah, and that had been a kind of a overcome the odds thing, kind of great for Asuka to kind of overcome and take out Brooke and Emma. But I think the one-on-one match will be fine. I'm sure Emma will still try to get involved.
Yeah.
It's going to be Asuka's debut. Should be interesting to see. I love in the build-up for her that they're showing her Japanese footage. NXT's done a great job of when they're bringing in all these guys from Japan and the Indies. They're showing their past. Before a few years ago when they brought in guys, WWE from the Indies, they pretended like they had no past, they never wrestled before until they got to WWE. So it's great that they're getting the rights to these footage and they're highlighting their past, so fans who don't know can get an idea of what to expect when this person has their debut match. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a decent match. Dana Brooke, a lot of people, I see a lot of people on Twitter complaining about her. She's definitely better than Eva Marie, and I know
honestly, a cat lit on fire, thrown in a trash can, rolled downhill is better than Eva Marie now.
And any excuse to have Evil Emma on the screen, I'm down with.
Yeah, me too. Same.
Let's see. Also, we were talking about the tag team tournament. We mentioned how Joe and Finn had advanced. They will be going against Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. And they showed that over the weekend that Chad Gable and Jason Jordan, they beat the Hype Bros, so they'll be going against Rhino and Corbin. and we got a little backstage segment between both of those teams, kind of arguing which one's going to be advancing and which one has a chance.
So since TakeOver is next week, what are your predictions on the tag tournament?
I don't want to go too heavy into my predictions in this video because I'm actually going to write a column for Social Suplex predicting who I think is going to advance. I think there's room for a surprise. I would think the heavy favorite for winning the whole thing is Finn and Joe, but I have a feeling that we could see a little swerve there in the tournament. And, I like the teams that are in there. I think Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, they got an old school kind of feel, kind of remind me of the Brain Busters. Mm-hmm. And they cut the ring off. They're nasty, dirty heels. They cheat behind the ref's back. So they're an old school tag team. I like that. And I'm big, we both have backgrounds in amateur wrestling at Jefferson High School. So anytime there's like an amateur wrestler guy, I'm big on them. So I'm big on Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. And they've really gelled as a team.
I think that's my pick.
Yeah, they were earlier, they were trying to put Jason Jordan and Ty Dillinger together. And that just was not.
It wasn't clicking.
That wasn't clicking, but now they got Gable and Jordan together. That's clicking real well. I love the Ready, Willing, Gable towels.
I want one.
Yeah, they need to sell those on shop.
WWE.com or however they get there.
Yeah, immediately. So guys at shop, if you're watching this, we want Ready, Willing, Gable towels.
So I can bring that to the gym with me when I work out and just be like, Ready, Willing,
Gable. Yes. And then also this week we got to see, we mentioned it last week here on Social Suplex Live that Gargano and Ciampa were going to have one-on-one matches. We saw Gargano go against Apollo Crews. These guys have wrestled each other before in Evolve and Dragon Gate, and they've kind of had a history. So it's kind of cool to see them mix them up. And like I tweeted out during the show, this was a perfect match to display both of these guys. It wasn't like just a squash. Like Apollo didn't squash Johnny. Johnny got some stuff in. Apollo got some stuff in. It was a good match to highlight both of them.
But it wasn't just that they got stuff in. It was a high-intensity match. It was action all the way through. It was nonstop. I mean, there might have been like one or two headlock sessions where they got to catch their breaths. But other than that, these two just went balls to the walls, moves left and right. And it was a good match. This was an overall really good episode of NXT to watch.
Yeah, a lot of good wrestling on NXT this week. And I'm hoping that this is not the last of Gargano and Ciampa that we see in NXT. This was a really good match. And I don't think
it's going to be the last of them.
Yeah, I think Gargano will definitely help bring in some indie fans to watching NXT, and he'll fit in there perfectly. And then we saw Ciampa go against Tyler Breeze. And, they set that up in the backstage segment. Breeze was saying that, if they're friends of Cruz's and they're enemies of Tyler. So that's that matchup, Ciampa and Breeze. What do you think about that matchup?
Can I skip straight to the finish?
Yes.
The Unprettier!
Yes. I love that Tyler Breeze is now using the Unprettier, a.k.a. Kill Switch.
So well.
Yes. And I think the beauty shot, the spinning heel kick thing, that was okay. That's a good surprise finish. Mm-hmm. But I think the Unprettier is another good finish where he can kind of flow, depending on who he's wrestling, he can flow that and catch that quickly. And that's a nice little quick move. And, it kind of hits the opponent's face, and he's going after the opponent's face. So that fits perfectly with his character. But overall, I thought this was another great matchup. I've been a big fan of Ciampa for a few years now. I've watched him a lot in Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. And they let Ciampa this was a nice, decent-sized match. Ciampa got a lot of offense in. At the tapings, I had no idea where they were going with things. So for a second, I thought Ciampa was going to win when I was watching it live, just because he was getting
that kind of the reverse STO from the top rope looking move.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. Yeah, that was sick. And I wish he would have got to hit his finish, the Project Ciampa. It's a power bomb into a backstabber.
Okay, so Teddy Hart does something very similar.
Okay. But look up the Project Ciampa if you're watching this. That is a sick move. And like I was saying, I hope Ciampa and Gargano get to stick around. He got a lot of great offense in that. It was another back and forth match. And I got to show what Tyler Breeze can do against an indie guy, since Apollo Crews is kind of an indie guy, and that's the matchup for next week at TakeOver. And that should be another great match, and it's going to be interesting to see where they kind of go with the future of Breeze and Crews leading out of that match.
But yeah, going back to Ciampa and Gargano, I think just based on how they let them run those matches and let them show what they really can do, that they will have a future in NXT, and it wasn't just a one-shot thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think definitely that this is I think they've won some guys over. And another thing to mention about the Ciampa and Breeze match, it was actually a pretty smart idea to put Ciampa and Breeze together, because after the initial tapings where Ciampa and Gargano went against Breeze and Bull, there was a reports out in the dirt sheets that Breeze complained to officials that Ciampa worked too stiff. So they took that real-life rumor and put that in the match. It's like, oh, they're putting Ciampa and Breeze together, man. They said Breeze says Ciampa works stiff. How are they going to handle this match? So that was kind of good. I love that NXT, they kind of play off, stuff that happens on the internet, kind of, to troll us. Like, look, you said these guys, they hated each other and they didn't want to work with each other. Well, look, now they're in a full-on, 15, 20-minute match. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And something we forgot to mention with Dana and Emma, they actually had a tag match against the Aussies, Billy Kay and Peyton Royce.
Can't I just say that Billy Kay really impressed me with this match?
What'd you like about it?
He hit a stalling suplex, which is pretty freaking cool, and then a head scissor. So two opposite ends of the spectrum on movesets, and she was able to do them relatively well.
Yeah, I think both of those girls are going to fit into the big picture of NXT's women division. Like we mentioned last week, man, they just need some character development, and they'll be on their way to get them over. Kind of a sad spot of the match when Peyton kind of slipped off the rope on the crossbody there on Dana. Yeah. That kind of sucked, and that's going to be on Botchamania. I felt bad further when that happened. Yeah. Fans have more grace for workers like Peyton Royce, because if that was Eva that had botched,
over.
They would have ate her alive. But the NXT fans giving Peyton Royce some grace, and those ropes get slippery, man. Them sweat. So yeah, she slipped off the rope, but it was a good recover. Dana kind of just went straight for the cover after she slipped off of there. But besides that, it was a good match. Peyton and Billy got some offense in, but where they were able to highlight Dana and Emma and kind of make you think that Dana has a chance of beating Asuka next week.
And was it Byron Saxton or who's the other announcer? Not Graves.
Rich Brennan.
Rich. Was it? Which one of them was calling her Oxa?
I don't remember. It might have been Rich.
Graves was giving them shit for that.
Let me just say, my favorite two announcers in all of WWE right now are Rich Brennan and Corey Graves.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I love them together. Rich Brennan he's just great. He just reminds me of that kind of reminds me of Joey Styles a little bit. And Corey Graves is like the tattooed hip version of Bobby Heenan.
Yeah.
So I love those two together, and I loved it on NXT for a while when it was just those two. Don't get me wrong, I love Byron Saxton, but I just feel like I'm a bigger fan of the two-man booth, and I like Rich and Corey Graves together, and Rich is actually on SmackDown now. It's Rich, King, and Booker on there, and he's like the saving grace of that team on SmackDown. And he actually knows the moves, They're like, all the other announcers are like, oh, they did that backstabber-like maneuver And Rich is just like, oh, the bank statement.
Yeah.
He got their bank statement locked in. It's just like that old school, like that JR type of feeling when on the announcing. So I hope that eventually the future of the announced team on the main roster is Rich Brennan and Corey Graves. I feel that will be a fresh breath of air on the commentary team, which is desperately needed.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, let's just enjoy them on NXT.
That's pretty much all I do, and then I watch like the Raw and SmackDown recaps.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything that happened on NXT this week. So next Wednesday on the network, they got Takeover Respect. So look out for my predictions on that.
Picking the music for the takeovers is like good job.
Yeah, well, they have like there's like partnership. They're trying to find like all these bands because they've been doing NXT shows at like these different like these music festivals. Mm-hmm. So they've been partnering with rock bands. Yeah, NXT music's definitely been on point.
Yeah, two takeovers ago, it was Motionless in White with a really good song. Last one, it was Sleeping with Sirens, another one of my favorite bands. And then this one is Bring Me the Horizon, and I cried, jizzed, and laughed all at the same time.
Oh, man. I think only you can put all three of those things together.
It was tough, but I managed.
In our last few minutes here, was there anything on Raw that caught your eye?
Not off the top of my head, no. Raw's been pretty, I don't want to say lackluster, because they do have the John Cena Open Challenge, and those are always fun to watch.
I mean, lackluster can be a good word for it. I mean, this week was the lowest rating since like an episode in '97.
Damn.
So Vince is in freak out mode right now.
Just put Triple H in charge, man. That's all you got to do.
And it's just, first of all, Kane in the main event. Now, don't get me wrong. Kane is a very talented worker. He's put in his time over the last 2 decades, and he has been very entertaining in this storyline. He's been nailing all of his lines. He's actually cracked me up. But the problem is having this feud as the main event. Kane, he's been there for 20 years, and he is in his heydays. Kane was never a main event championship contender. Remember, he won the title at Bad Blood and lost the next night.
Yeah.
And then he had that quick little world title reign on SmackDown. Besides that, Kane's never really been a world title main event guy. So now you have him here with Seth Rollins. This just feels like filler. Like, we don't know what we want to do with Rollins yet. Reigns is still busy with Bray. Ambrose is kind of mixed in there. We have already done Rollins and Orton. We just finished up Rollins and Cena. It's like we don't know who we kind of want to put Rollins with yet. Oh, let's bring back Kane. Let's just throw that in there for filler, especially since Brock and Taker are main eventing Hell in a Cell. So whatever, we'll throw him Kane. That's the problem.
I feel like all of Rollins' title run has been filler. Like they just have not figured out what the hell to do with him yet, and it's sad because Rollins is a fantastic worker. And you give him time in the ring and you give him enough time to, actually work. And he puts on a fantastic fucking match. And he doesn't need to win by a fucking roll-up. He doesn't need to win by cheating. He can do a good match. But I understand that's his character and that's how they want to play him.
Yeah. But I mean, a babyface turn for him is inevitable. Mm-hmm. I don't know when they're going to pull the trigger on it. But I think Rollins' babyface could freshen up some matches. We can get Rollins versus Owens. That would be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, that would be a very interesting matchup. That would be a lot of fun to watch.
We'll see how they try to turn things around going into Hell in a Cell. Mm-hmm. Kane and Rollins' program, man, it's just rough, man.
Well, and here's my view on Kane. Is because when we see Undertaker, we're like, oh my God, Undertaker, everyone's freaking out. And he's been in there just as long. And honestly, I feel like Kane almost puts on, if not as good of, if not better, a show than Undertaker.
Yeah.
Even though they're similar ages, they've been in the business about the same amount of time.
Well, I think there's two reasons why we pop for Taker more than we do for Kane. First of all, I think over the years we've kind of been programmed to know that Taker is better than Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime they feuded, Taker has always won, and Kane is always, whenever they were a team, Kane was almost like the sidekick to Undertaker. And second of all, Taker over the years has always taken some like extensive times off from TV. So it's like, man, we haven't seen Taker for a while. Then you hear that boom, you're like, oh, Taker's back, yes. But, Kane, for the most part, Kane is there every Raw, every SmackDown for the last 20 years. Only when he's gotten hurt or, goes to film See No Evil or something that he's off TV and then he's back right away. So we never had that time off where, man, Kane's been gone for a while. Now he's back. There was at one point, I think it was like 2002 or 3, where he was injured and then he came back. I was like, oh, Kane's back. This is cool. And then he was kind of feuding with Triple H for the world title on Raw. But besides that, there hasn't been that period of absence to keep Kane fresh. We're like, oh, man, yes, Kane is back. Now it's just like, oh, Kane's here again. I mean, the little, corporate Kane, Demon Kane, Hyde and Jekyll thing, that's kind of an interesting twist in his character, but I feel like that would have be better served like a mid-card feud or something, not the WWE, championship feud. Like Rollins should be having some hot baby face chasing him, hot new baby face chasing him for the title.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the problems, man. We just need fresh matchups on the main roster. And, probably the highlight of Raw for me is probably just New Day, man. Xavier Woods answered Cena's open challenge, and that led into the 6-man for the Cena and Dudley's against New Day.
And who'd they have? They have Seth Rollins or no? No, it was all the New Day.
Yeah, it's just all three of them against Cena and Dudley's.
I love Xavier Woods' work. Just on the mic with the fucking trombone. That's crazy. I like that.
Yeah. He's a very talented, smart individual, man.
Yes, I agree. And the Final Fantasy VII theme that he played in one of the matches, I laughed so hard.
Yes, it's awesome. Have you ever watched his Up, Up, Down, Down video game show on YouTube?
No.
Oh, man. If you've not seen this, you need to watch this immediately. Go find Xavier Woods Up, Up, Down, Down, I think it's called, channel. It's him and all of the superstars playing games, and they all have like nicknames, like Rusev's Tong Po, and Rusev got like murdered in Street Fighter 4. They were playing one week. Yeah, check that out. That is just hilarious.
I'm definitely gonna have to look that up.
But in our last few minutes here, tomorrow night there's a live special from Madison Square Garden. Any thoughts on that show? That's
the Big Show Lesnar match, right?
Yeah, Big Show, Brock Lesnar, Cena versus Rollins for the U.S. title in a cage, Dudley's versus New Day for tag titles, or the 3 confirmed matches. I think there's a rumor of Orton and Sheamus again. I'm not sure what else.
I can't be the only one who's over Orton and Sheamus.
Oh, trust me. Just look at my Twitter, and anytime Orton and Sheamus is in there, everybody does not want to see Orton and Sheamus.
Now, when you said a few minutes ago that they just need fresh matches, why don't they move some of these superstars around and give other superstars a chance to, sit in the spotlight? Because right now they're just recycling the same 10 superstars.
Yeah.
I mean, they've thrown Neville and Owens into the mix, but other than that, it's pretty much stayed the same.
Yeah. I don't know. I think part of it's just probably Vince. He's holding on to the people in his mind that he thinks draws and people want to see, and not opening up his mind to all these other new guys that are coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I mean, they've done their best to try to build up this Big Show Brock Lesnar match. I don't see any way of Big Show winning unless Undertaker interferes somehow. But I expect to see Brock Lesnar just like he did back in the day, and just like he did at Royal Rumble, was that 2 years ago, and just beat the crap out of Big Show. Cena, what was I?
German suplex, F5.
Yes. Break the ring down again.
Yeah.
Rollins and Cena, this is another match that they've been doing a lot on TV and house shows. Don't get me wrong, it's a great match, but it's getting overplayed. Interesting note that I read this morning. Cena is supposedly taking time off after Hell in a Cell, so I'm kind of curious to see if maybe they're going to put the U.S. title back on Rollins here, or whoever Cena defends against next takes the U.S. title from him. So, and there's also a possibility of Kane getting involved in this match too. So we'll see what happens there. And then the tag title match, I don't know, man. I just love New Day. I don't want to see them lose the titles. Any thoughts on the New Day Dudleys?
Sword with that one, because I want the Dudleys to get their 10-time reign, but I don't want the New Day to lose because I love watching them.
Yeah, I think that should be like the Dudley storyline. Like they should draw out that thing. Like they keep trying and trying and trying to get the 10-time tag title win, and they should keep holding that off and make it like a big deal kind of thing.
And that's the thing with tag team matches and 1-versus-1 matches or 1-on-1 matches, is that tag team matches don't get old so fast because there's so many outcome possibilities.
Yeah,
like now you have Xavier Woods on the outside who can interfere. What if they bring back Spike Dudley to help the Dudley boys?
Oh, man, that would be awesome. But I have a feeling this match is going to end in some kind of DQ or some kind of finish, non-decisive finish, and then we're going to see at Hell in a Cell maybe a tables match between New Day and Dudley's, which I don't. Well, and that would be good, but also December is TLC, so they could push it off to have a tables match or just to have a TLC match with Dudley's and New Day in December.
I was going to go somewhere with that.
What, Dudley's and New Day?
No, about TLC. TLC. The new Edge and Christian team. I think it was someone on NXT. I think it was Gable and Jordan, just with their outside the ring mic work, their promos and their segments and everything. They seem kind of Edge and Christian-y.
Yeah, they kind of do.
I mean, they haven't started the wild and crazy gimmicks, but
yeah, I mean, even New Day kind of reminds me of Edge and Christian when they were heels. They would have these goofy backstage segments, playing the kazoo and stuff, and then they'd go out there and, cheat to win, and you'd love them backstage, and then they get out there and you'd be like, oh, yeah, Edge and Christian, squeaked one out again. So New Day kind of reminds me because they are super entertaining. The trombones and the clappings and all the stuff they do on Twitter and Instagram is just hilarious. Mm-hmm. And then they get out there and they cheat, and you're just like, dang, New Day. So
New Day!
So it's going to be interesting to see what their plans are for the tag division and what's going to happen at the live special tomorrow night, and what's the plans for Hell in a Cell for the tag titles. Mm-hmm. So anything else on top of your head that you wanted to mention?
Can we just get a women's tag team division? I mean, we're getting enough divas now.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the women's tag division. TNA tried that. I don't know. It's just
that's TNA. Leave them in their own thing. Don't bring them up again.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Let's get the singles division on the main roster under control first before we try to bring in another aspect to that division.
All right, now let's jump back to the Sasha Banks Bayley Iron Woman match.
Yes.
Obviously, see Bayley retaining, but who do you think's next in line for challenging?
Probably Dana. If Bayley retains on the heel side, there's Dana and Emma that's waiting for the challenge. Also, Nia Jax, they've been teasing her. We saw her at NXT house show in Tampa.
We did,
and I think she's going to be good. It's going to be nice to have a different style mix up in there. She's going to bring almost like an Awesome Kong kind of flavor to the NXT women's division. So I could see maybe, Bayley, she fights through Dana, fights through Emma, And then boom, Nia Jax is like this big challenge for her, and she has to, the underdog Bayley has to overcome Nia Jax.
David and Goliath style stuff.
Yeah, so those are like 3 who I think would be challenging immediately. I don't think, as much as they want Eva to be ready for a title shot,
not yet.
I don't think she's ready for it.
She's definitely not ready for it.
Nobody's ready for a 15-minute Eva match. So yeah, so I think they're gonna have plenty of challengers stacked for Bayley, and I think there's a couple other women that they have signed recently that we haven't even seen on TV yet that have competed in like Shine and stuff that are going to be. So I mean, they're going to be this women's division. They've got it. Their bench is pretty stacked right now. They're going to be able to plop people in and out, and when people get shifted up to the main roster, they're still going to be replenishing that division. So
all right, since I know Triple H has like your entire house tapped, everything you say somehow happens. Sign Kimberly. Sign her. Sign her.
Yes.
Sign her. All right, sorry.
So yeah, she's great. It'll be interesting to see who else Triple H picks up from the Indies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gotta get ready for work.
So gotta get ready for work as well. So it works out nicely.
It's perfect timing.
Hey.
Thank you everybody for watching another episode of Social Suplex Live. This will be up on the website soon. A lot of new changes coming to the website. Changed up the layout a little bit, the font. We're going to be adding more audio and video. Check out last week's Social Suplex Live. Check out One Nation Radio with Rich Latta and James Boyd. They always do a great job with their podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Social Suplex is going to be their new home. So keep looking out for new audio, videos, and new columns coming from all of us. So until next time, see you.
See ya.